Hi mums and dads, boys and girls, how you all going today? Well, it's a bit wet out there. I had a look outside and it's pouring of rain here at Morpeth. I can't even say sunny Morpeth today. I hope you're all doing well. Okay, I have got something from the Christmas shop to show you today. This little fella here. Now this little fellow, he's called a Tomty Gnome. Yeah, people reckon he's pretty cute. You see the resemblance? Well, this guy is Sweden's version of Santa Claus, so there you go. And if you like this chap and you want to have a closer look at him, do yourself a favour and go over to the Christmas shop here in Morpeth, and that's the one directly behind where I am now. And you can have a look at the Tomty Gnome. So I will put him back over here and I will do the story for tonight, boys and girls. Are you all tucked up in bed and ready for the story? I'm really getting some good reports on people thanking me for doing these stories. It says the children are getting a little bit more used to Santa, and that's a good thing, isn't it? And stories are always fun anyway. So, look, the story we're doing tonight, you've probably already got it at home, and it's Santa is coming to Newcastle, and I think that's pretty appropriate for us to do. And remember, if you are an author or if you've got a lovely children's book that you would like me to read, by all means drop it in and we'll give it a go. So snuggle up, boys and girls, here we go with Santa is coming to Newcastle. Santa is coming to Newcastle. Okay. Well, boomed Santa, have all the children from Newcastle been good this year? Oh, well, mostly, answered the little old elf as he busted across the busy workshop to Santa's desk. Santa peered down at the elf from behind the tall, teetering piles of letters that the children of Newcastle had sent him. Mostly, asked Santa, looking over the top of his glasses. Yes, but they've all been especially good in the last few days, said the elf. Jolly good, chuckled Santa. Then we'd better get their presents loaded up. Even though the sack of presents was really, really big and the elves were really, really small, they seemed to have no trouble loading it into Santa's sleigh. Though how they managed to fit such a big sack into one little sleigh, even they didn't know, but somehow they did. Splendid, boomed Santa. We're ready to go. Not quite, Santa said. The little old elf. One of our reindeer is missing. Missing? Which reindeer is missing? Asked Santa. The youngest one, Santa, said the elf. It's his first flight tonight and I've called him, but just then a younger reindeer strolled up, munching on a large carrot. Where have you been? Asked Santa. But the youngest reindeer was crunching so loudly that it was no wonder he hadn't heard the little old elf calling. Oh well, never mind, said Santa, giving the reindeer a little wink. He took out his Santa nav and tapped in the coordinates for Newcastle. This will guide us to Newcastle in no time. Crunch, crunch, crunch. With a flick of the reins and a jerk of the harness, off they went, racing through the sky. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. We'll soon have these presents delivered all over Newcastle. Sleigh, sleigh, flew through the starry night, heading south. On they flew as the crisp wintry night turned into daylight. In the wink of an eye, the sleigh crossed over the equator and down to Australia. The youngest reindeer was very, very excited. He had never been away from the North Pole before. They had just crossed the Hunter Valley when suddenly they ran into heavy cloud. They couldn't see a thing. The youngest reindeer was getting a bit worried, but Santa didn't seem worried at all. In 2 kilometres, said Santa. In 2 kilometres, said the Santa Nav in a bossy lady's voice. Keep left at the next star. But Madam, Santa blustered, I can't see any stars in all this cloud. Soon they were hopelessly lost. Then through the swirling cloud, the youngest reindeer heard a faint chiming sound. Bong, bong. He looked over at the old reindeer with the red nose, but he had his head down. Red nose, I wonder who that could be. Bong, 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 bong. There was that sound again, like a clock chiming. The youngest reindeer turned around to look at Santa, but Santa wasn't listening. He seemed to be arguing with a little box with buttons on it. With a flick of the harness and a jerk of the reins, the youngest reindeer gave a sharp tug and headed off towards the sound of the bells, pulling Santa and the sleigh behind him. Whoa, cried Santa, pulling his hat straight. What's going on? Then to his surprise, he heard the chiming sound. Well done, young reindeer, he shouted cheerfully. It must be a Christchurch cathedral. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming. And then suddenly, crunch, the sleigh hit something as it plummeted through the cloud. You have arrived, said the Santa Nav unhelpfully. Finally, when the clouds parted, Santa discovered where arrived was, stuck right on the clock tower of Newcastle City Hall. Everybody pulled. The reindeer pulled with all of their might until at last, with the screeching noise, the sleigh scraped clear of the clock tower and Santa steered them safely over Fort Scratchley and the bogey hole until he could stop safely in the King Edward Park. Luckily there was no real damage done, but the packages had all been jumbled up. Santa quickly sorted the presents into order again. All right, said Santa. Thanks to this young reindeer, I know where we are now. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming. Santa drove his sleigh expertly from the rooftop to rooftop all over Newcastle, popping in and out of chimneys as fast as he could go. It didn't matter how big the chimneys were, or even if the home had a chimney. Santa worked at the speed of lightning, placing presents under every Christmas tree. The youngest reindeer was amazed how quickly they went. Santa never seemed to get tired at all. And it looked like the children in Newcastle were going to be very lucky this year. But the youngest reindeer was starting to feel a bit weary, and quite hungry too. In house after house, Santa delved into his sack for packages of every shape and size. He piled them under the Christmas trees and carefully filled up the stockings with surprise. In house after house, the good children of Newcastle had left out a plate of cookies and a small glass of milk and a big crunchy carrot. Santa took a little bite out of each cookie, a tiny sip of milk, wiped his beard and popped the carrots into his sack. From Merriweather to Beresfield, from Bar Beach to Tyers Hill, and all the places in between, Santa and his sleigh visited every house in Newcastle. Santa delivered presents to Andrew, Alison, Anna, Arabella, Archie, Ashley. The list went on and on. Zach, Zara, Zeb, Zoe and Zabel. Wow, that's a lot of people. Finally, Santa had delivered the last present on his long Newcastle list. Great moons and stars, sighed Santa. It's nearly morning and my sack seems as heavy as ever. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody. Santa opened his sack to check, but it was full of juicy, crunchy carrots. Santa divided the carrots among the reindeers. Well done, he said, patting the youngest reindeer gently on the nose. But the youngest reindeer didn't hear him. He was too busy munching. It was time to set off for home. Santa reset his Santa nav once more to the North Pole, and soon they were speeding by the Civic Theatre, over the Hunter Stadium, and past Nobby's Beach, through the rapidly approaching dawn. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. Merry Christmas, Newcastle. Well, there you go, girls and boys. That's when Santa's coming to Newcastle. Pretty good, huh? You might want to have a look at that one yourself. Now, remember, Christmas shop is at 98 Close Street, the street parallel to the main street. So, behind the fairy shop, mums and dads, you can't miss it. Okay? So, remember that. It's the big Santa shop in Close Street. All right, time for me to go and time for you guys to go to sleep. Bye for now. Bye.